All right, guys, let's go over the hip hinge. So the hip hinge is super important because if I can't move my hips independently without rounding and rotating or extending my back, I'm not going to be able to get in a good position to kind of make my setup, make my turn, make my swing, and get it intact. So it's super important for all of those positions, right? So one way I can start training this sort of hip hinge, this independent motion of the hips without using my spine, is grabbing a dowel. So I want 3 points of contact. I'm going to go with my head, my mid-back, my lower back. So from here, I'm just going to flex my hips forward, shoot my butt back, and come down. And again, here. So I've got 3 points of contact. Again, my head, mid-back, low back. And when I'm down here with my butt shooting back in this position, I'm creating kind of elastic tension in my hamstrings and my lower butt area versus the tension being in my back, low back. If I set up like this all day long, that's going to obviously cause some problems. Or like this is going to cause some problems. But if I'm in a nice neutral position over the ball, it puts me in a good setup to swing on plane and stay in my shot. So once I get that down, if I understand that well, I can kind of start loading that hip hinge pattern. And the best exercise for that is using a deadlift. So the deadlift is great because I can use the ground, I can hip hinge, I can create torque and force, and I can get strong in my hip hinge. So the way I'm going to do a deadlift, so something simple like a kettlebell here, I'm going to use one foot here, dial into the ground. I'm going to use my other foot, really dial into the ground so I'm driven into the ground. I reach down for the kettlebell. I got one hand on the kettlebell, other hand's going to create a torque. So torque, 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 lots of tension, chin down, breath out, and I stand up. Boom. Same thing here. Boom, boom. Get on the kettlebell. Chin is down. Not here, what you see at every gym. Chin stays down, ribs stay down, create tension, stand up and go. On the profile, looks like so. Boom, boom. On the kettlebell. Lots of torque, trying to rip the kettlebell off the ground. Chin gets back, and I stand up strong. Stand up strong. Creating that hip hinge strong, hip hinge pattern, creating length behind your elastic length here is going to start, this will carry over to me being able to stay in a shot there. If I stand up out of a shot, a lot of times that's going to be due to kind of being able to control the posterior chain through there. But if I really train the deadlift very well, there's a nice chance that has the opportunity to give me the skills and fundamentals to carry that over to my golf shot. So we looked at the dowel, we looked at a deadlift. Let's look at it just something down the line. So if you can do all those things very well and you can crawl, then you might be able to do a kettlebell swing. So kettlebell swing kind of puts it all together. It's a lot of timing based. So the way we're going to do a kettlebell swing is the Russian style, the true style, not the CrossFit American style, overhead, overexposed, bad rib position swing. So the way we're going to do a good Russian kettlebell swing is we're going to get in that same sort of deadlift position here. From here, I'm going to sink my butt back, I'm going to rip the kettlebell back, and it's going to speed from here. So as you see, when I'm swinging in that position, my chin is down, my ribs are down, I'm breathing out as the kettlebell is in this kind of out extended position. But I'm in a very good, strong position versus being here, which we see like your CrossFit version or your American style kettlebell. So stick with that one. If you can crawl, if you can do the dowel hip hinge, if you can do the deadlift hip hinge well, then you could probably try the kettlebell swing. Those are 3 really good exercises to start carrying over. You'll definitely see noticeable differences in your golfing.